Hello, guys. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing quite well, I would say. It is already quite late. That's why that's why we have this candlelight session tonight. It is 11:20 right now. So, as promised, I wanted to get into a reading session. My Paimon book. I'm reading a very short chapter. It's actually a chapter, an apostrophe. It's just 1.5 pages. It's a really short section of the book. You cannot really call this chapter, but it's a section, and this section is called "Why This Book Transcends Boundaries." So I will just go on and stop at certain places, and then explain some stuff along the way, if necessary. But of course, I want you guys to draw your own conclusions. I want you guys to think about it, be inspired on your own path, and of course, post in the comments what you think about it. Post in the comments your thoughts, and of course, if you like it, consider purchasing the book on my website. So let's jump into it. Why this book transcends boundaries. I started writing this text with the idea in mind to create something that had not been established before. That was a very important point, because when I wrote this book, and that was in when was that? I think 2017, something like that. I started writing it. It took me actually a really long time. So I finished it. Finished the editing took me ages, because I was basically doing everything. I was cross-checking it, the grammar, the spelling, and all that stuff. So it took me a long time. So at that point, when I wrote this book, I wanted to write something that nobody else had written before. And in a sense, it's true about the spirit Paimon. When I was searching the internet for information, there was nothing but superficial and repetitive information on the spirit Paimon and other spirits I'm including in this book. There was hardly any information that went beyond the qualities given in the GOETIA. At that point, I became skeptical of the content that had been put out, but deep within me there was an inner knowing that these spirits truly exist, and that they are not just a product of our mind. I wanted to know more, and so I went deeper into the darkest realms of my unconscious mind to find the basis of what I see as my connection with the spirit world. So, as I said, I have to find a more comfortable sitting position here. I wanted to write something that hadn't been put out before. And I would say my biggest inspiration, probably from my mentor, was EA's Book of Azazel. So that was and I think I also mentioned that to him. I think I also mentioned that to him in my early consultations. Probably in the second consultation or something like that, very early on, I said I want to write. I find your book so fascinating. Such a cool book. So if you have not read it, a little promotion for him. Why not? Although I mean, especially because he has been basically removed he has been removed from the platform, from this and other platforms. So I'm making some promotion for him, because I think lots of stuff is not justified. What's being told, and and so forth. But I'm not making it a topic about that. I just wanted to say I was very much influenced by his book, the Book of Azazel, and I said I want to write something very similar about Paimon. But it turned out in the end not only to be about Paimon. It turned out to be a book about everything that I came in contact with, everything that I learned along the way. I was just basically, this book is a documentation of my path in that time. Again, as I said, 5 years of, I would say at least over 3 years of working with the spirits, documenting everything. And let's just continue, and then I make another break after some lines. I would describe this text as an intuitive attempt to get acquainted with the dark side of self and the world we cannot directly see. You will come to understand that the concept of darkness, or the dark aspect of self, has to be viewed in the light of the overall context the person is immersed in. It is a symbol of a hidden truth that resides in each person. So I'm basically repeating myself here because that was part of the topic I talked in some other videos just recently. And let's continue. This text is not a mainstream spiritual one that simply repeats and preaches common concepts just for the sake of engaging with our spiritual side. At no point in the book will I claim that my insights gained from my personal work and research offer an absolute truth or an absolute version of the layers of reality I've tapped into. It should therefore be read as a personal account of my experiences that may eventually help others on their own path. Those of you who know my work will understand that I see magic not as an objective, magic with a C and a CK, that I see magic not as an objective, but rather as a subjective experience of reality. So, yeah, I mean, I wanted to write it as a documentation where I was at the time. So that's why I'm saying it is not an absolute truth, but it is a version of the reality that I tapped into, the version of the reality that I subjectively experienced. So that's why I say it is an experiential account, right? Of the magic that I was doing, of the experiences that I somehow try to make sense of. And this in itself holds, I would say, this in itself holds the key to magic, to black magic, because or let's just say to magic in general, because what is it? What is it eventually? It is about understanding your reality. It is about the understanding of who you are as a person, as a magical being, as a spiritual being, and how you as an embodied spirit, how you can not manipulate in the conventional sense as you might think, how you can manipulate the aspects of your physical environment through your magical powers, so to speak. And I wanted to inspire. That was one of the main points. I wanted to not only to document, I wanted to pass something on to others. Not just to repeat the information that I'm laying out here, but to find their own truth. And by discovering things on your own and not just repeating the information, that's what I'm saying here. Not just repeating the information that others put out. Find your own truth. put out your own material. I mean, not everybody has to write a book about it, not everybody has to make videos about it, stuff like that. Not everybody has to do that, and you don't have to. But what you can do is find your own meaning in things. And without being too influenced by how other people do it, how other people understand it. So the last paragraph of this very short and apostrophes chapter is, this book serves as a source of inspiration in the context of what you can do with your life and how you can understand different perspectives of reality. However, it is certainly not a book that pleases your current sense of self. Its objective is primarily to support you on your path of self-development so that you can reach a new level of understanding of your true essence and the parts that comprise your reality. I devote this book to the spirits I've worked with and to those who have supported me on this path. So, this was my first little reading session of my book. I could go on and on and on, and I will. Let's just see what chapter it is actually, why this book transcends boundaries. This is the third chapter. Starting on page 9 of this. I'm reading from the print version right now, so I have another one that I'm sending out as a PDF, but it's the same book. But the chapters might start on a different page. Yeah, so guys, let me know what you think in the comments. That was a short video. I mean, what I can do finally at the end, if you manage my beautiful book, King Paimon, my book about Paimon and other spirits, the connected mind, a channel between the worlds. Bye bye guys, have a good one.